Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Tome Tuesday. It is actually Wednesday, May 4th, 2022, and you will find out the reason for the delay in just a minute. First, let's go over the numbers. Tome right now is sitting at 74 cents, 0.9701 to Phantom. TSHARE sitting at 27.56, 36.08 FTM. TVL is sitting at 343 million. Let's get into the announcement. Battle tested. Having experienced and been toughened by battle. Now that is Tome. That is Tome. Been through many battles. No different than what happened this last weekend. FTM experienced a 33% drop from peak to trough. And with that, Tome had a very similar experience. And with that, comes some panic, material price dislocation. But the thing is, the team always demonstrates a calmness and strength. Tome and FTM are anti-fragile. And as we say in the past, we only come out of these situations stronger than before it. And that's where we are right now. Tome is strong. Tome carries on through all of these situations that happen just in the market, just in general, right, with everything that's going on. So a special thank you to the Phantom Foundation, as we always appreciate their ongoing support for the protocol. And we got this little chart right here that we could show you. FTM USD, that's right here, right? So coming down, big action over the weekend. Meanwhile, PEG fairly consistent, right? Just this drop right here, but look at the bounce back and recovery. And that's the really important part. That's what you look for, right? The protocol works itself back to where it needs to go, and everybody is moving along in the same direction, and that is fantastic. Now, while all of that stuff is going on, no matter the market conditions, we are busy building. Short-term volatility and FUD in the market will never stop this team from building for the future of this sustainable protocol that supports not only the market and FTM, but the community as well. We have so much in store this year. Tome 2.0 is right around the corner. You could take a look at this right here. Felix, Fannie, Life, Tome Chain, all of these things are part of the bigger Tome Finance full-on ecosystem, and it's huge. We really are just getting started. Even though we're approaching the 1-year mark, Tome is only just getting started, and it's very exciting to be this early into something this big. Moving on, TSHARE emission strategy update. We're finalizing the strategy and will enact following scheduled of the TSHARE emissions in our cemetery. So essentially what happens is come June 2nd, we're going to be having the TSHARE emissions. All TSHAREs will be out in the wild at that point. That emission period will end, and they are working on the next iteration. But Harry does go on to say that my mission has always stayed the same from day one when he was given the opportunity to run Tome back in September. How to build something that lasts a lifetime. So a little action over there. We shall see what happens. All right, Tome as gas on Tome Chain. This is fantastic, right? The L2... it only continues to grow, continues to get worked on. We know it went on a mainnet, I believe 3 weeks ago now at this point. So we have really good stuff going on with the L2. Over this weekend, because we had that monster action that was happening with Phantom, right? We could see something like this where the average gas price was getting a little bit out of control for a minute. And it was a little bit tough to get transactions through. And there was a lot of people all competing to get those transactions through. So there was a lot of front running with gas wars and that type of thing. L2 will help mitigate those situations. And that's why it's so important. So Over the weekend, we saw real-world data that further validates the utility that Tome Chain will bring to the Phantom ecosystem. Tome Chain is just another example of evolving Tome beyond its original concept and building tools that will benefit everyone in the Tome and Phantom ecosystem. We continue to evaluate RL2 and further improve it for its upcoming launch before the end of Q2. As a reminder, Tome Chain will bring further utility for Tome. Things like staking Tome on Tome Chain, Tome as gas will be used on Tome Chain, and then use cases from dApps that require the use of Tome. All super bullish stuff. Very excited for when we get more detailed information on Tome Chain when it becomes available. But until then, stay tuned to the announcements and we will let you know when we know. Felix is coming on Friday, May 6th. This is huge. Originally scheduled for the end, or at least by the end of Q2. That is literally the last day in June. We're talking about May 6th. That's 7 to 8 weeks before the end of June. That is absolutely huge. So congratulations to the team. There is a lot of people working behind the scenes in order to get this ready and be able to bring it to you by this date. Please remember there's going to be a soft launch. A soft launch would indicate that it is all of the features are not there. I don't know whether it's going to be a bare bones version or just a version to get yourself up and going with these tokens here and more to be added later. But just understand it is a soft launch. And with that being said, you'll be able to access it on Friday, May 6th. Very, very, very cool. And there is a fun little graphic over here. Something Possum is coming soon. All right, and that is Fanti down there in the corner. Now, Felix will offer true limit orders as well as traditional market orders, OCO, and stop limit orders. Essentially, all the orders that you could do on Binance, you'll be able to do on Felix because you're running a Binance Cloud exchange. Now, by sharing order books with Binance, Felix will provide deep liquidity. And that liquidity is so important. That's for high frequency traders. That's for market makers. That's for you, the trader, to be able to go in there and actually utilize a book instead of an AMM. And not only that, you're able to go in and have less slippage and trade with lower fees. So huge stuff coming with Felix, and that is absolutely awesome. Now, we spoke about Fanti right here. What about the magnificent adventures of Fanti and question mark? So we had a competition. We announced this last Tome Tuesday. The competition was for selecting a name for the French Bulldog, which is going to be going, essentially toe-to-toe with Fanti over here. So Harry goes on to say, I can't thank the community enough for coming up with an amazing list of names for our French Bulldog. The top 10 list was presented to me, and I thank you very much for the submissions to this competition. I can neither confirm nor deny that I was watching the competition channel in the Discord, filling up with some really incredible names. I will take all these names as well as some others into consideration before making the final decision. Once that decision has been made, you will all be informed. And that you can see right here. This was the competition that was held on Discord, on the Discord server, but it was open to everybody. Obviously, anybody from Twitter, anybody from Telegram, come on over to the Discord and was able to enter your name. There was over 1,000 entries that got down to a semifinal list, let's say, of 60. And then that 60, the community voted on what they wanted to push up to Harry. And this is the 10 most voted by the community that have been sent up to Harry, and Harry has taken a look at them. So, Toomey, T-Bone, Epoch, Dow, Winston, Bosco, T-Dog, Fido, Brutus, and Frankie. So, some really good names over there, and that's really fantastic to get everybody involved into that process, and that was a really good time. Moving on in the announcement, lightning fast Zaps are under development. So we spoke about this before with some stuff coming from the masonry. Now they are started to work on the cemetery Zaps, and that's going to be a big deal. Because with the cemetery Zaps, you'll be able to utilize your emissions, your TSHARE rewards from those cemetery LPs and very quickly be able to get to your destination token. Now, they will be efficient paths for the masonry and the cemetery, but these are all being worked on in the background. They have a list of Zaps that they are working on presently, and then once they become available, they will be live on the site. Now, new Tome Swap LP coming this week. It is live. It went live this morning, and that is the newest liquidity pool, BTC TSHARE, or TSHARE BTC-LP. We should put it at that way. All right, now it will be a very attractive for investors that are just dipping their toes into DeFi. So we want to encourage new participants in our ecosystem and help grow our TVL while offering a very simple way to gain yield. This new LP will go live in the cemetery this week, and it went live this morning. Be aware that there can be some APR rebalancing for the next several days while everything settles out, but we can actually take a look at that right now. These are the Zaps, by the way. This is just a screenshot from what's going on here. Claiming, swapping, staking, all happening with the Zaps. And this right here is a screenshot of the cemetery showing all 6 LPs now. 2 from Spooky, 4 over on Tome Swap. And there it is right there, TSHARE BTC LP. So again, that is live right now. Talking about live on air. At 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time yesterday, Harry talked about Phantom, Tome, and L2. All 3 of those words made it out in his interview while he was in New York on Bloomberg TV. So that was yesterday. It was a great talk. They asked him about the markets. They asked him about regulation. They talked about hedging. They talked about his clients for quantum fintech. So there was a lot going on there. It was a great interview. The video will be in the link of the description, and about 3:28 is when Harry comes on. So you can check that out if you missed it. And moving on, one more extremely bullish thing right here. Tome welcomes a new Oracle. I am very happy to share with you all the integration of a new price feed Oracle from Dia Association. This Oracle will allow lending protocols to accept Tome as collateral for very low interest. There is no need to sell your Tome when you can leverage it to regain some liquid for your capital. Tools like this are a central part of DeFi, and they are a very effective way of accelerating your growth in this space. So this, again, is huge. With a price oracle, you're going to be taking data feeds from, let's say, Spooky and Tome Swap. Eventually, you'll be taking data feeds from Felix. Maybe you're grabbing some from Beethoven. But all of those data feeds are going to go into one singular source, like sort of average them all out. They'll be given a weight, clearly based off of their TVL and how much they impact, the actual larger pool as a whole. But that data feed allows lending protocols to essentially let you borrow at either 0% or slightly above. There is a lot of opportunities once you have an Oracle, and this is really, really, really bullish. So this is a huge thing. I guess they've been working on this in the background to land all those data feeds, get everything situated. And Dia uses transparent data feeds. So you're able to actually, see the data feeds coming in and what they all mean. On our end, on the back end, or actually on the front end, I should say, you will just see the one Tome price. And that is the price that is derived from the Oracle. So huge stuff. Opens up the door for a lot of really good strategies that you'll be able to utilize for your capital. All right, last thing on here. Well, last 2 things. Airdrops, right? Just another announcement. Now, 9 days, right? That is it. We are 240 days of snapshots, and we are coming to an end. There was the 120-day the past, and that was announced January 11th, 120 days prior to January 11th, and then the future 120 days, January 11th up, and that means May 12th. It is right now May 4th, so we are getting very, very, very close to the final snapshots. All of that action is happening in the background. All of that data feed, the filtering process, the whole 9 yards, all of that stuff is happening, and they say that they should be available at the end of Q2. So there's not going to be May 12th, May 13th, the airdrop happens. So keep that in mind. The end of Q2. But, just like we saw with Felix, end of Q2, there was a surprise, and we got that a little earlier. Potentially. Don't hold me to that. Just potentially. All right, and then Tome Based, our partnership with an excitement about Based Finance continues to be validated. Despite market turbulence, Based has proven incredibly resilient and benefits from our unwavering support. For the latest on Based, you can check out their Based Friday updates. Those are always on Medium, as well as their Discord. Now, we continue to build, educate, and work tirelessly to ensure everything we do is in the best interest of our protocol and our community. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Cheers to many more prints ahead. Happy Tome Tuesday. That will wrap it up for this Tome Tuesday video. And as always, keep calm and tome on.